Hi, it's Alara, and today we're starting a new Palworld adventure. I'm using a few basic mods, but the important part I will say is the randomizer. This means anything can appear pretty much anywhere, and the game proved that to me immediately. So as soon as I spawned, Yakumo attacked me out of nowhere, and I had one pulse sphere. So I did what any professional survivor player do. I punched it, same way that you do in Ark, and somehow I cooked it. And look at this, isn't this the most cute unicorn Chinese dog you can ever dream of? And then I turned and I saw Knocklem in the starting area? What the fuck? Not too far from there, I found actually two Starion Primo, and those are my favorite pals of all times. They are really pretty unicorns. But there was an Eldron too. And I only had one pulse sphere because this is the starting area, guys. So I choose the flying mouse and I tamed it with a pickaxe, of course. And for a moment I thought the game was being really nice to me. Yeah, spoiler alert, it was not. And then I went for a tiny fly. And I thought nothing can go wrong. Oh, I was so wrong. This guy appeared out of nowhere and barbecued me. Like, I didn't even have a chance to protect myself or defend myself. He just had a flamethrower and he didn't hesitate to use it against me. Look at him going with his own life after killing me and my flying mount. But there is not bad news with good news. And I found another Eidrolon, but this one was on fire. It was his fire version, Eidrolon Ignis. And I pixelated him till he was low enough and got him. Why have one flame bound when you can have two? And now it was time to settle down and find a good spot. And that's what I did. I travel and travel and travel till I find it. My future base spot. So after all this traveling, I found this place. It was almost flat, had plenty of space, and someone it had iron, quartz, sulfur. It was a good spot. It was perfect. So I placed my pal box and officially call it home. And apparently my new home came with neighbors. Two reptiles appear right next to the base. They look like they have fallen directly from the sky. It's just what I needed. The randomizer was delivering pulse to my phone door, and honestly, excellent customer service. So I tamed the first one. Sadly, my dog died in the process. And I went for the second one. And I got it too. And for a moment, everything was perfect. The game was really on my side. And then I turned and met the landlord. Not so happy Felaris, as you can see. Luckily, I had already placed my pulp box so I could respawn right next to the base. The Felaris may have killed me and proved the point, but he did not evict me. So this place was officially mine. Now that Felaris and I had established some ground boundaries, it was time to start building. I built the basic structure, added a few crafting stations, some chests, and upgraded the base. It wasn't beautiful yet, but I was slowly becoming a home. I already had a couple of pals mining, but after around 10 minutes, I realized that I was needing a really simple thing to keep upgrading. A bed! A bed! Who will have guessed that basic resources is what will stop me from upgrading? You find a lamp bulb, you collect some wool, and then you make the bed. But this world is a randomizer. Lamp bulbs don't appear where they are supposed to. Nothing appears where it's supposed to. And I had already found giant monster, flying mounts, two reptiles, but somehow a little bit of wool was too much for ask. So I had no choice. I had to leave my new home and began the most dangerous mission so far: finding a ship. And so the search for wool began. I flew across the map. I found dangerous enemies, rare pals, and plenty of things I didn't really need. But no ship and no wool. After almost 30 minutes of searching, I finally got some. Honestly, I don't even remember where it came from. But I had wool, and that was all that mattered. My mission was complete, so naturally, instead of going straight home, I made a completely reasonable decision. I decided to challenge the first two Syndicate Towers. Was I prepared? Probably not. Did that stop me? Absolutely not. First up, Zoe and Grizzlybot. This was supposed to be my first real boss fight, and I was expecting maybe a long battle. Most probably another that, let's be honest. But Eidrolon, he had his own plans. It charged one attack. And that was it. Zoe was it. That was the entire fight. I didn't even have time to help. Like, Eidrolon did everything. At first, I thought this may have been lucky. There was only one way to find out. So, I went directly to the second tower. The game gave me a really dramatic introduction, a giant arena, a new one, the 1.0 version. And this time I actually make a mistake. I had tamed Clepsea earlier, and I sent it. Poor thing, he looked at me, and I look at him, and we were looking at each other. Yeah, wrong pal. So I quickly switched to Eidrolon, and suddenly everything was under control again. Eidrolon charged attack and destroyed her. Another tower complete in about 10 seconds. At this point, I wasn't the hero. He was. After defeating two tower bosses, exploring for 30 minutes, it was really time to go home. Because after all, I still had one really big important mission. The bed. Making the bed. After everything I had been through, I finally had enough wool. So I crafted it. Honestly, this felt like a big achievement, even bigger than defeating the two bosses. I continued to create in the base, and soon I had 4 working slots available. Since this area had so much metal, I put 3 pals on mining duty, and the last one could take care of everything else. My little base was finally starting to work, and my collection of pals was already becoming ridiculous. I had Eidrolon Ignis, Eidrolon Normal, 2 Reptiros, Clepseas, Mozzarina, Smoky Crest, and several other pals that definitely didn't belong in a beginner base. Everything was going well. I had workers, I had resources, and most importantly, I had a bed. But I also had 10 eggs waiting to be opened. And to hatch them, I needed an egg incubator. And for an egg incubator, you will guess what I needed? Wool. Again. Because during my first expedition, I forgot to collect extra wool. I didn't even know where did the first one come. It was time for another one. This time I was looking for 3 pals. Lambal, Azurbe, and Civilix Primo. Everything related to cloth. I found Civilix Primo first. And I managed to catch it. It was actually really lucky. It produced high quality cloth, and this can be really nice for later game. But completely useless for my wool problem. I continued exploring and searched everywhere for an Azurbe, but I couldn't find one. I even went to the area where it's supposed to spawn, and a Llama King Christ was spawning there. And there was a shadow bag too, for a reason, under the water. Eventually just gave up. The randomizer had won the battle for Azurbe. But then, close to my base, I finally saw them. 2 lambos! Actual sheep! Actual wool! Exactly what I have been searching for whole hour. So of course, I caught it immediately. I had to give it multiple tries. But I got it after fighting giant monsters and random polls all day. I was so happy. I had my sheep. Finally. And before going back, I actually find an Astegon just there, walking around, right next to my house. At this point, I had stopped questioning the randomizer. That was simply my neighbor now. Catching and killing those lambal give me enough wood, so I just made the egg incubator and started hatching. Among the results, I got a Muffly, a Lupomon, a Violet, 2 Mamures, and 2 Crystallas. It was not exactly what I was expecting, but could have been worse, These were pretty useful pulse. Violet can produce different crops, seeds, and that's why I assigned it to the ranch. It keeps tomato, carrot, and onion. So my next project was obvious: upgrade the food in the base. I built the ranch, put Violet to work, and thanks to the seeded produce, I could start different plantations. One for berries, one for tomatoes, one for carrots, and one for onions, of course. By the end of the stream, the base was finally starting to look organized. I had miner collecting metal, I constructed a logging seat and a stone site and a crusher. I had a super duper random collection of balls. And all of that on my very first day. And that's where we are ending today's adventure. Next time, I will continually building the base, explore a tiny bit more this randomized world, and probably get killed multiple times. And if you like to watch the full stream, make sure to follow me on Twitch. I stream every Tuesday and Thursday, plus one random day during the weekend. I hope to see you soon. Bye bye!